We want to feel that magic of what it was like when they landed in the helicopter in the waterfall and got on that Jurassic Park Jeep Wrangler and drove to the field and saw the Brachiosaurus. Like, we want to feel that feeling again. Is it going to be Jurassic Park 7 or is it going to be Jurassic World 7? That's the question on everybody's mind. Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to dive deep right into that. You guys loved my last video on Jurassic World 7 is here and our ambitions at sort of looking at all the potential dinosaurs that could be in the upcoming movie. But today we're going to talk about the implications of this being a Jurassic World or a Jurassic Park. I know there's already some information about it, but first I want to welcome you guys to the Dinosaur channel. This is your home on the internet for all things dinosaur and prehistoric. I do a bunch of videos all about dinosaurs and Jurassic Park. You've got so much exciting content coming up, especially deep dives on the top 10 dinosaurs of the Jurassic, Cretaceous. Highly recommend you watch some of my other videos, but let's jump right into it. We're going to hop on Google Chrome here and we're going to do some informational looking research. All right, guys, let's take a look here. Jurassic World 7. Let's open up a little bit of a discussion about what we could potentially see in this movie. So I know that most of the articles have already told us, if we go into, let's see here, Jurassic World new movie set for 2025 summer release. Now, all the other Jurassic YouTubers have already made videos on this, but I want to bring up an interesting thing that I haven't heard many people talk about. I'm going to read a little bit through this article, and then we're going to present some questions, and I'm also curious to hear from you guys in the comments what you'd prefer, a Jurassic World or a Jurassic Park 7. I think a lot of us, hint, 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 probably Jurassic Park, but let's read a little bit. So, Deadline News says, mark your calendar for Wednesday, July 2nd, 2025. We all know that. It's already been released. As Deadline Dishes just reported, the next installment is looking to be directed by David Leitch off David Cope's screenplay. Actually, if I believe correctly, David Leitch has already been set off as the director. He's not going to be the director anymore. Okay, this is the interesting part. Jurassic 7 is expected to be a lot smaller to previous Jurassic World movies, production, story, and money-wise. A great way to start fresh with the saga of the movie universe, which goes hand in hand with why Steven Spielberg will be so involved. When we look at Jurassic Park, the first movie, it was only about an hour and a half, I believe, movie runtime, which made the story a lot more concise. Obviously, Jurassic Park is a grandiose movie, but when you compare it to Jurassic Park: The Lost World, it's way, way, way smaller. And when we look at the sort of elements of Jurassic Park, like the original movie, we want to take ourselves into the styling, the feeling of it, the character development, the way that the camera was shot, the monsters, you know, the dinosaurs, everything, the set pieces. We have yet to receive something similar. I think Jurassic World, when we look at and compare to Jurassic World, the universe of Jurassic World, to Jurassic Park, we do get a similar feeling with the aesthetic and memorable moments and sort of that feeling of being back in the universe, again, that we did in Jurassic Park. But I think the alternative or the upper hand to this being a smaller movie is that it provides us with the opportunity to maybe scale back from what we were going after. I think towards the end of the Jurassic World franchise, it was really grandiose and it was big and everything was massive, and it almost turned into sort of like Transformer movies towards the end. Like Jurassic World was not quite that yet, but definitely Jurassic Park or Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom and Jurassic World Dominion were the most grandiose it could possibly be, with explosions and helicopters and motorcycle chases, and we've kind of lost the plot a little bit on what Jurassic Park originally was. Now, granted, there's so many things that have gone into that element. My friends here from Jurassic Park, the Jurassic Park podcast, let's see what they wrote here. I'm just looking for that information that had told us a little bit about what the movie was about. Okay, so whilst there's no indication of the direction of the story which the sequel will tell, it's fair to say that there are a few interesting directions which Cope could choose to explore. A story which delves deeper into the wider ramifications of dinosaurs in the wild, or perhaps explore more murky dino trafficking which Dominion introduced us to. Certainly has potential. And this was written by friend Tom Jurassic, great guy. Highly recommend you guys check out the Jurassic Park podcast if you never have. Definitely, as we get into the zone of a new Jurassic Park movie, these people are like the best. It's the best podcast to possibly listen to get information about, first of all, what's coming up, what's planned, and also like sort of just get hyped about everything. I think it's fair to say that we would all really like a run back to Jurassic Park. The only problem with that is I don't know how I'm not sure how they could do it without having to scale back totally into a story that's more like a prologue. Now, I think prologues are great, but how sellable is a movie? For example, there's always been discussions about this for a long time, about a movie about Hammond's life, you know, early on with Lockwood, and then development, like them developing the first sort of animals that they were cloning. So I just want to, in case there's any spoilers, if you haven't read the book, I recommend you read the book. So take a pause before, because if I remember correctly, in the details of the first book and the second book, they talk a little bit about how when Hammond and Lockwood were first developing the concept of cloning of dinosaurs, they actually worked on elephants first. And they had created like a mini elephant that was supposed to be like a pet. Yeah, here's a great art of this. I remember seeing this picture before in the past. So it's something along the lines of that. And then they had worked on recreating different creatures, like bringing them back from the past. And only then did it turn into what it is now. You know, this idea of dinosaurs everywhere and running around. But imagine a movie where most of our scenes or most of our action with dinosaurs, our face-to-face interaction with dinosaurs, takes place around scenes like this, where it's way more in the zone of captivating and amazing rather than grandiose. Because we have to assume that the Brachiosaurus and the Tyrannosaurus Rex and all these guys came back, they came way after. Like, it must have been a process of years and years and years before these massive dinosaurs were cloned and released into Jurassic Park as a preserve. So we'd be going back into the labs in the basement and early on when they were still doing things on the mainland before Isla Nublar, and exploring what a world of Jurassic Park or Jurassic World could be like when it was a prologue. Now, I think we can go into so many different avenues with that, because there could be one movie in the beginning that's about Hammond's life, and then that goes into actually like the second movie could be purchasing Isla Nublar and Isla Sorna, or the Los Cinco Muertes. It could be amazing to see the whole process of acquiring those islands and leasing it from the Costa Rican government, and sort of Hammond and Lockwood being really shady about what they're actually going to do there. I mean, there's 1.5 million directions that we could go in to learn about these things that could be so freaking cool. But in my opinion, I think it's a bit of a far stretch to imagine. I think it's a bit of a far stretch to imagine that this is a direction we would actually go in. Because I think for the market nowadays, and correct me if I'm wrong, I'd love to hear from you guys, because I know when I look at my analytics in the videos, I can see that there's people who are my age that are between the ages of like 24 to 20. I'm 27, that between the ages of 24 to 30. Then some that are the ages like 40 who watch these videos. There's obviously some younger too that are like 18 to 20 who grew up around the Jurassic World franchise rather than Jurassic Park. I grew up with Jurassic Park, not Jurassic World. But for me, I think that we have to market these movies towards people today, right? Marketing and movies in Hollywood is very much reliant on money and budgets. They always have been. But the idea of creativity now is kind of gone because we're doing sequels to a franchise. So can you really go back in time? Can you really go back to Hammond? Can you really make a movie that's smaller scale? Now, I talked about this in my previous video. We had a short film called The Hatchling, which I still haven't gotten confirmation if this was canon or not. But this was all about the Dinosaurus and hatchling Dinosaurus, and you see like a adult Dinosaurus at the end. How plausible is it for us to imagine that they would scale back, but scale back small? Like, I don't see us scaling back small. I see us scaling back, but still staying grandiose. And I think personally, that's where I'm gonna kind of lose the franchise. Like, I don't see us going back to Jurassic Park, to be honest, not anytime soon. Not until there's like a real demand for it. And when you see movies like The Hatchling, I think it's like a 3-minute to 5-minute short film. It's a very short film. There is not a lot of time in there, but there is a lot of action. Same as Battle at Big Rock, which was a short film that was done by Colin Trevorrow, which is an amazing short film. Absolutely amazing. Like, it is one of the coolest things. Battle at Big Rock. But I think, as much as a lot of us, probably the older ones of us in the crowd, want to scale back and sort of see, we want to feel that magic of what it was like when they landed in the helicopter in the waterfall and got on that Jurassic Park Jeep Wrangler and drove to the field and saw the Brachiosaurus. Like, we want to feel that feeling again. And I want there to be stakes. I want it to feel dangerous. I want there to be thrills. But I personally don't feel like I need it to be huge and expansive and explosions. What I do think is going to happen, I think while budget is going to be smaller and movie will be smaller, I think I have to predict that we're going to see still something along the lines of Battle at Big Rock, where there's still going to be some sort of contention. There's still going to be some sort of battle, some sort of dinosaur, one-on-one versus, because it's kind of the formula that developed now, and regardless of whether critics like it or not, it seems to be selling both to adults and to kids. And the movies are making money. Granted that Jurassic World Dominion and Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom made less than Jurassic World, they still made a crap ton of money. These movies made a lot of money. And then when you think about merchandise after, they don't stop making money. These movies generated so much money. But I think it's a little bit sad for me because I can't see a time, and maybe when I'm 45, that's when they'll eventually do it, where we actually end up scaling back and bring the story back to a place of wholesomeness, of grounding. I think for the foreseeable future, I see us staying kind of large and grandiose and explosions and fires and a lot of CGI. And to me personally, I would love to, see, there you go. This is all the toys from Battle of Big Rock. Imagine, that was just a short film. And imagine how much money they made. They probably made millions off of just the merchandise. From Battle of Big Rock was just a YouTube short film. It didn't even go up anywhere. So I have to imagine that we're probably not going to get, the Jurassic Park fans of us are probably not going to get what we want. I stay optimistic because of the fact that his name was Cope, right? Cope. He's the one who's going to be writing, and he wrote Jurassic Park and The Lost World. So I have hope. But with the way the world has changed, and the way that Hollywood nowadays treats movies, and the way that you have to sort of make a movie nowadays for audiences of today, it might be impossible for us, without fully going back in time, to get what we really deserve as Jurassic Park fans. And that's, I don't know, it's an interesting point. I'm interested to hear your thoughts on this, guys. I want it to be a discussion. You guys obviously appreciated my prospects on the last movie to think about what kind of dinosaurs could be in there. But I really would love to draw a discussion in the comments because I'm so interested about this. And I don't want to hear it from other Jurassic YouTubers because there's so many YouTubers here on this platform who talk about Jurassic Park and Jurassic World. But I want to hear it from you guys, actual viewers at home. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe everybody just wants a short film that's like a shorter film that's only like an hour long or an hour and a half long. That's a bunch of action and adventure. I just feel like when I think of Dominion, the moments that captivated me the most were the moments where Claire landed in the forest and had that threatening face-off with the Therizinosaurus, where things slowed down, rather than the motorcycle chase scene in Malta. Rather than, as much as I love the Pyroraptor, that whole sequence of landing in the Pyro, it's so quick for me. For me, I really loved the scene of going into the underground market and seeing all the dinosaurs and the way they were. Like, taking a moment to breathe. Even in Fallen Kingdom, when we had the moment with the Brachiosaurus, when we were looking at it, it was so quick and the music didn't swell enough, and it was like, I did like Fallen Kingdom and certain elements of it, but it's like we didn't get what we wanted. Like, we didn't get what we deserved, in my opinion. And we deserve a lot, because at the end of the day, we're the ones holding up this franchise. If it's not for us, this franchise doesn't exist. But I don't know. I'm curious. I'm curious to hear what you guys have to say. I'm curious to hear what you guys think. This is just me blabbing about this stuff. Obviously, if you guys are interested in hearing me have more commentary on Jurassic Park, I can. My goals for this channel is not to be fully dedicated to Jurassic Park, but I can tell there's a clear distinction when I talk about Jurassic Park and the Jurassic franchise and views, rather than when I talk about actual science. So I don't mind continuing to talk about Jurassic Park. I could do it all day. The goal for this channel has always been the Dinosaur channel, not specifically the Jurassic Park channel. But I highly recommend you guys watch some of my other videos. Regardless of that, please leave me your thoughts in the comments below. I am actually very, very curious to hear what everybody thinks. Are we going to get a movie that's smaller scale that talks about Jurassic Park, or is it most likely going to go in the direction of Jurassic World / a Battle of Big Rock, lots of action packed, but in a small scale movie? Does that make sense? I hope my analysis makes sense. Anyways, let me know, guys. See you on the next one. Bye-bye.